Doug, and I want to welcome you to the next Positive Gravity. Today I am doing something different. I won't be at the lathe today, but we're going to do something pretty cool here. So I wanted to give you a little background on what I'm doing. So I have a piece of yew here that's from the tree that we had in our yard. It's a slab, it's like a disc. So the pith of the tree is right in the center there, and there's bark and live edge all the way around. The idea here is to plane this down level and smooth on both sides and turn it into like a charcuterie board. But I figured I'd start with the planing. What I have assembled here is pieces of what I've used before to make a river table, and I've sort of converted it into this router sled. So this is just angle iron. I have some oak blocks on the ends, and these little slidey things right here are just pieces from that you'd use on like a bifold closet door. I think is what they were from. So they happen to, they stick out just a little bit further than the oak blocks do, and the idea there, they don't really come into play on this setup, but when I am doing a river table or a bigger piece like this, I can lay it out on the entire bench here, run 2x4s down both sides, and the width here is almost exactly the right width, so I can set the bars on the sides to press up against here. And then this slides up and down nice and smooth, and it doesn't jigger back and forth. I'll get jiggering back and forth here, but that's probably okay because I'm just going to be planing this small thing. So anyway, I'm reusing the sled, and I've repurposed this wood, which was from, like I said, it's a casting mold that I've just reused. Everything on here is secured, so I have some clamps here holding the ends together. Other than that, everything is secured with hot glue. I don't know if that'll be good enough for this. I think it will, and it's pretty secure. I can move my whole bench. So this is like hot glued underneath. It's hot glued on the sides. There's some shims in here, and those are hot glued. This is hot glued to that. So I've already proven that that's not going to work. Look at that. I don't think the hot glue sticks very well to this melamine. No surprise there, I guess. I'm going to go ahead and try with it like this anyway. My hot glue gun's not plugged in at the moment, so let's try it. If it starts moving around, I'll have to re-glue it. So let's go ahead and give it a try. I have on here a 2-inch bit that's used for leveling like a CNC platform, and I use that to level pieces like this. So let me put some safety gear on and we'll give it a try. The router is set up for a depth that's going to take off this high side first, and then I'll just keep moving it down to get it where I need it. This is a plunge router, and the speed is set to 16,000 RPM, which is the maximum for this bit.
Okay, this side is flat, now we need to flip it over. Shouldn't need shims anymore now that we've flattened one side. The hot glue seemed to work well enough on the other side, so I'm just going to use it here again. Flat piece of wood.
Alright. Man, that was dirty. So much dust and so many chips leveling this thing. So I've gotten it this far. It's looking really nice. I think it's going to be really pretty when it's done, but there's still a lot of work to do. I did remove the bark. I still have some sanding to do there, but it's going to have a white outside. A lot of cracks. You know, the big one here, big one here. There's one that runs all the way out there. There's a couple of little pits. Another one over here. So those all need to be addressed. There's also a channel out there. And on the other side, there's another channel here, more cracks. So I really need to cast this in some resin. I think that's how I'm going to handle these. I'm going to use black. So I'll come back to this. I'll bring you back in when it's time to do the resin casting. I want to do something new to me with the resin casting. So I'll talk about that. If you've been enjoying watching my videos, been learning things, or just enjoy watching the various projects that I do, I appreciate the time you spend watching my channel. The best way to support my channel is to hit that subscribe button. So go ahead and give that a whack. I appreciate all the subscribes. So it's the best way to support me. Thanks so much. And when we come back, we're gonna hit this up with resin. All right, I think we have a plan. Got our charcuterie board here with all the cracks. I think what I'm going to do is use this duct tape to tape up the edges and the cracks on the bottom. Place it into this, this is just a cardboard box with a garbage bag to catch any leakage that could happen. I'll place this in here. I'm going to be using Alumilite clear cast epoxy. It's a 2-part epoxy mixed 1-to-1 by volume. So I'll mix that up. And I think I'm going to color it with this activated charcoal powder. This is a shout out to Cam over at Blacktail Studio, which you can see on YouTube. He mentioned this in one of his videos, and I thought I'd give it a try because it's a solid that doesn't really dissolve in the epoxy. The theory is that it won't bleed into the wood and cause color changes in the wood. So I'm not going to pre-treat the wood with anything. I'm just going to mix up the epoxy, add some activated charcoal to get jet black, and hope for the best. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to tape it up, mix it up, and pour it. Let's do it. So I've pre-marked this. I just used water to fill 2 equal volumes, so there's a 1-to-1 mix. Easy cheesy. Really have no idea how much of this I'm going to need, so I just took a wild guess. Probably going to not need as much as I'm making, if I had to guess. And again, this is a Alumilite clear cast epoxy. This has like a let's see, 30 to 40 minute working time and about a 24-hour demold time. So this will sit overnight. I'm actually going to bring it inside where it's a little bit warmer. It's too cold out here to really cast effectively. Stuff's pretty thick. I think you can heat this stuff up in a water bath to make it a little bit thinner. I haven't done that, but maybe I should have. Okay. Oh boy, that's thick. Okay, so I just put this into some warm water. I can already feel it's getting softer. See that? Nice. The theory is you don't need to degas this. It's got a long enough open time that the bubbles will come to the surface and pop on their own. And you don't need a pressure pot, which is good because my piece of wood doesn't fit in my pressure pot, which is the reason I'm using this resin, one of the reasons. Alright. Let's make a mess with this charcoal powder. There we go. Knew that was going to happen. This stuff came double bagged in the mail, so it's probably my first clue that it's a mess to work with. I don't really have a clue how much I'm going to need. Let's put that much. Oh yeah, it's nice and jet black. So my concern with this is that since this is particulate and the long open time of the resin, that these particulates might actually sink and
you know, end up mostly on the bottom of the casting. I don't know if that'll happen or not. We'll see. Hopefully not, but it could. Yeah, that's nice and opaque. All right, let's pour it. Generally, you want to pour this stuff like not more than a, I forget what it says, maybe 1/4 of an inch thick. So I think all these cracks are fine, but the container is 2 inches deep and 3 inches across, and that thing's heating up and solidifying super quick. So I think that container is a goner. Polymerizing by the second, so I was gonna leave it here. It's actually smoking. I'm just gonna leave it there, let it harden. Might even take it outside in case it bursts into flames or something. All right, well, this is all set. I'm gonna bring it inside to give it a couple days to harden. I guess just a day, and then I should be able to flip it over and do the other side. So, all right, everyone. A few days have gone by. I've worked on resin casting all the cracks in this charcuterie board. I did both sides. I tried a little bit of planing on this. That's why it's all scratched up. That kind of worked. I'll probably keep going, try to level this down a little bit before I sand it. Got this little block plane here. I'll be trying to use that, see if it works. That was a lot of work with the little plane. Worked pretty well, but in the future, got to find a way to use less resin, create less work for myself later. So I got both sides of this planed off. I'm gonna have a little bit of work to do on the edges. I'll probably try to do that with a Dremel maybe. And obviously sanding the top and the bottom. So let's move on to that.
got this thing sanded down. I sanded the edges. Got both sides sanded. I put one coat of finish on here. I'll show you how I'm doing that. This side's not finished yet, so it's still dirty. But here's what we're doing. Quick wipe down with denatured alcohol. Clean off all the sawdust. Okay. I'm finishing it with Arm-R-Seal from General Finishes. They're not a sponsor or anything, it's just a product I like. Find a clean non-alcohol spot on my rag. It's just a simple wipe on. Make sure I got everything covered. Give it a gentle wipe. Just like that. That's it. I'm gonna let this sit here tonight, dry. I'll give it a light sanding, probably with like 220 grit tomorrow, just very gentle. And then repeat the single coat, just like I did this one. We'll do that 3 times on both sides and on the edges. And we'll be done. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I won't show you all of them. It's the same thing I just did. Light sanding, wipe, new finish. So we'll be doing that. And next up, you'll see the finished product. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed that process.